All right, hey guys, sorry about that delay. I was just having some integration problems, but I want to welcome everybody back over here to another one of our sweet live streams where I, the host, Adam, the marketing manager, will be taking you guys through the workspace. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, so just give me a second to do that, and then we'll jump right on into this. Okay, so hopefully you guys can all see my screen now. All right. Okay, good. It seems to be working just fine. So what I'll just go ahead and do, we have these webinars every 2 weeks for the time being. And so what the plan usually is just to kind of show you guys around the workspace, kind of show you some features and functions that we offer that maybe other competitors do not offer, and kind of just to guide you through how better you can improve your team's collaboration. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this workspace right here where it says Get Suite Done. And that is actually a workspace that I personally use and that my team also uses that we all collaborate on. And the first thing that I just wanted to mention before we all get into the workspace is that as you can see, this is this workspace that we usually use. And these are all my other workspaces that I have as well that are free accounts. So you are able to go ahead and make an unlimited number of free workspaces. And if you want to choose to upgrade maybe out of 8 workspaces that you have that are free and you wish to upgrade 2 of them, you can do that. So that's also one of our competitive advantages that we have is that you can make an unlimited amount of free workspaces without even having to switch accounts. So this right here is your primary account, and here are all your other workspaces that you can go ahead and jump into. So let's just go ahead and jump into the workspace right now. All right, so hopefully you guys can all see this. Hopefully there's not too much of a lag. If there is, I do apologize. So this is the workspace that my team and I use for all of our team collaboration. As you can see right now, we are in the channel box is what we like to call it. So in the channel box is where all your chatting happens for all chatting purposes, and just where you want to have quick conversations with your team, just sending quick messages, giving out tasks, assignments, feedback, stuff like that, just for the main part. We also, as you can see over here in the top left, you can go ahead and change up your channels however you most prefer as well. So for someone who likes to really stay organized, I would recommend that they can put their channels all in alphabetical order. You can do that if you want. What I usually like to do is set up my channels from the at the top over here. I'll have the channels that I use the most, and then going more towards the bottom is the channels that I don't really use that much, but I'm still a part of because I do get notifications on them. And at the bottom, of course, over here you have your direct messages. So for most of you that are familiar with different team collaboration suites and different tools, you can see that this looks similar to most of the chatting functions, but there are some slight differences, like for the fact that we let you go ahead and with a single drag and drop, you can go ahead and rearrange your channels however you like. For instance, I know that Slack doesn't let you do that, which is a major inconvenience, I would say, to me. I have used Slack before in the past, and so have my other teammates. And once you make a channel, it's going to be exactly in this order, and you can't change it. And you can only use one word as well. So if I had something like partnership management, that would be one word. You can't use 2 words, that you can't add a space. And as I was saying with the rearranging the channels, all you have to do is just drag and drop and move the channels like so. So you can go ahead, this is how you can go ahead and rearrange your channels however you wish. And if that's not enough, if you want something else to remind you that you use these channels a lot more than other ones, you can go ahead and hit the star button, which is right over here on the left where you see the nice little gold star. And what that will do, if I can show you, so I'll take this and I'll star it, it automatically jumps it to the top of the list right over here. And when you unstar it, it'll go ahead and jump right back. Another thing that's really neat that you can do that some of our other competitors don't let you do is creating folders. So to create a folder, you just click on the plus symbol right here and you press create folder and it'll pop up a folder like so, as you can see here. So this, oops, sorry about that. So this is a folder, teamwork folder, basics channels folder. So folders are good for a few different things. It's good to help you stay organized, to keep everything in one folder, obviously, so your channels aren't scattered all over the place. But it's also good for, let's say you do have a teamwork or a team management folder, or maybe just a marketing folder, and you have a lot of different marketing channels for different marketing purposes. Instead of just having them all, just separated here, you can go ahead and put them all into one folder, again, just by dragging and dropping, just go ahead and doing that. So putting them in that folder. And what that will do is help you keep everything in one place, so you can easily find all of your proper channels and proper information, and they're all here, and you can just jump to it real quick. And what you can also do, another cool thing you can do with folders, is you can compress them or expand them. So right now they're all expanded, and if you click on them, they will be compressed. So you don't have to see all the channels, and it kind of does look a little bit neater. And when you need to use a channel, you can go ahead and unfold it like so. You can do the same thing with DMs. You can go ahead and star a DM, which will take it right here to the top. You can unstar the DM. And same with DMs and channels, you can go ahead and mute them as well. So you won't be receiving any notifications unless you unmute them. Going a little bit back, I wanted to say this first, but I kind of glanced over it a little bit. If you do have multiple workspaces like me, you might be thinking, well, what do I need to do to check if I have any notifications in those workspaces? And that is a good question. What you can go ahead and do is just click on the drop-down menu right here, and you see all your workspaces like so. You don't need to go all the way to Swit Home, which was, I'll just show you real quick, is this. You don't need to go here to see what's happening. All you need to do, click on the drop-down arrow, and if you see that there's a red icon, a little unread badge notification, what we call it, if you see that, that means that there's some activity going on in the workspace, and you should probably go check it out. It doesn't tell you exactly if it's involving you or not, but you know that something is happening in the workspace. So if you're not too busy, it's good to just quickly go and check, and you can go into that workspace, and then once you're in the workspace, you check whatever you need to check, do whatever work you need to do. You can click back here and select whatever workspace you want to go into next. You can also have your workspace settings. You can invite new members into a workspace, and you have your analytics, which we can get into later. But for the main purpose of this just demo, is just to kind of guide you through the workspace and show you how to utilize it to your best advantage, so you can improve your team's collaboration and communication. So moving on a little bit, as I said, so the chatting feature, which we're in right now, is just for kind of quick feedback, communication, just with the rest of your team. The great thing is that everything is ordered by date. You can see, as it says over here, you can see exactly when someone sends something. So 4:58 p.m., 5:06 p.m. So you never lose track of where messages are coming from who they're coming from, and what time they were sent. If you scroll more up, you can see that these were messages from yesterday. If you scroll more up again, you can see that these were September 3rd. This was August 29th, August 20th. So it always updates you, so you know exactly when a message was sent. I find that really useful. It's a really neat feature because it just lets you know exactly, like a timeline of what was happening when something was sent to somebody else. If you go a little bit over here, and you go into the ideas. Ideas are a little bit different than chatting. And a lot of people need a bit more clarification. What's the difference between chatting and ideas? I can kind of clarify a little bit on that now. So as I said, chatting is for kind of quick feedback and communication with your team. Ideas is kind of more of a concentrated conversation that you want to have with your team. So for example, in this channel titled Sales Events, if you have, if your sales team has a recent sales event that's going to be going on, maybe in the next week, maybe in the next 2 weeks, you might want to go into the ideas tab, on the ideas tab right here of this specific channel. And you might want to, one person from the team might want to kind of expand on an idea like, hey guys, what kind of resources do we need to bring? How early do we need to get there? When do we need to set up the booth? How long do we have to set up the booth? It's kind of more for brainstorming activity and expanding on one particular point. You can also go ahead and add attachments. It can be as long as you want, as you see, and you can put in different attachments, different links over here. The attachments are actually down here. You can comment with different emojis. In the actual idea, if you're going to make a new one, you just type it up. You just type it up here, and then you can even add stuff from your computer, which will pop up here. You can select something and then open it. You can even go ahead and mention someone, which is the mention right here. So you can mention me, Ali, Betty, Christian. It doesn't really matter. You can mention all the people that you specifically want to inform about this idea. And they can write their comments at the bottom right over here. And if they need to, you can go ahead and delete or edit the comment. So right now, we'll go ahead and delete this comment since it's not necessary. So that's kind of the main difference between the ideas tab and the chatting tab, as you can see. Now what we can get into is the app bar up here. I'll touch on that a little bit. And it's actually good that I can show you about this, because as you can see in the app bar right now, the little red dot, the unread badge notification is letting me know that some activity is going on in the workspace. So if you go ahead and tap on it, click it, it will pop up all your activity, all the activity that was done in the workspace. And this varies from people writing a comment, from people changing something in the workspace. And it just says it all up here. It says, so Joanne added a comment to the demo. Someone else added a comment to proofreading guides. It just tells you exactly who said something, when it was said, gives you the time and date. Also, the cool thing is that you don't need to personally go ahead back into your channels, which are on the left, go into that channel and search what's happening. All you can do is just click on it and you'll be automatically redirected to the task that you were mentioned in, and which was this right over here. And I can go into that a little bit later. So what we're trying to do with that is reduce the number of clicks that it takes for a person to get somewhere. It's really convenient. It's really time efficient, saves you a lot of energy. And it also saves you a lot of the hassle of having to remember exactly where everything is. Swit remembers where everything is for you because it's all documented right here in your activity. Mentions is similar to activity, but a little bit different. And this way is that you'll receive an activity when any sort of activity is happening in the workspace. All right. You'll receive a mention specifically when you are mentioned in a task, in a comment, in an idea, or just in the chatting tab. You also receive a mention when everybody, for example, is requested to view something. What's a good example would be if someone said, I can show you here. If, for example, I wrote into the message bar right here, I wrote at everyone and selected it, it would notify everyone in this channel. So if I say everyone and I say, hello, this is a test, excuse my bad typing, everybody in the workspace will go ahead and receive a mention that says that I wrote at this specific time that this is a test. And they will also receive an activity because there was a new activity in the workspace. So that's pretty straightforward. Moving on to shared items. Oh, I'm sorry, starred items. So starred items is a specific item within the chatting tab or the ideas tab, and in whatever channel you're in that you decide to star. So this is basically if you find something important, or if you want to go back to it at a later time, you can go ahead and hit that star button and star it. You can also go here and decide to unstar it if you no longer need it anymore. You can also go ahead and filter what you're looking at as in the start items by just chatting, by ideas, excuse me, or by task cards. Now, start items is really cool because you can save what you personally want to save. Something similar to start items would be pinned messages. And pinned messages is something that anybody can pin within the workspace, within whatever channel or idea, and it shows up for everybody. So as you can see, it doesn't show you how many pinned starred items are in this specific channel, but it does show you how many pinned messages are in this channel because it's for everybody to see. It's for everybody to have saved. So as you can see in this sales events channel, we have 3 pinned messages. If we go into general, for example, you can see there's 10 pinned messages, and they all vary from different things that someone, your manager or your fellow coworker wanted to start to let you know that it's important. Another cool thing is files. So a big problem with having multiple apps open, like Slack or Asana, even if they're integrated together, or Calendly or Monday or Jira, Trello, it doesn't matter. You just have a bunch of those open, and you have a bunch of files and notifications all in different workspaces, all in different applications. And that is kind of a hindrance, because what it does is you start to forget where important information was. Some people are great at remembering, and kudos to you, but some people aren't that great. And most people aren't that great, I would say, just from experience. But it's really easy to get confused if you stop remembering where you put certain information. So what the cool thing about files is that it collects all the files from your entire workspace. So this entire workspace that we're in right now, any single file, screenshot, or attachment that was ever posted in a channel, idea, or a task card gets saved right over here. And there are a lot, but again, what we did to improve this was for you to be able to search what you're looking for. You can either search all types of files, just specific images. As you can see, now it's showing me just images. It's telling me exactly which task card or which channel it's in. So this is in the office channel. This is in the marketing miscellaneous channel, and so on and so forth. Then you can go ahead and just take that off. Let's say you're looking for documents. So then it'll show you just documents. If you know also what channel the document might be in, you can select the specific channel that you want to go into, or even a direct message, or even a project. So it's just that easy to filter exactly what you want to do. You can even search. If you know exactly what you're searching for, you can hit the search button. If you know exactly what member sent it to you, sent you that document, or sent you that spreadsheet, presentation, video, you can go ahead and select them as well. So it's really convenient, it's really easy, and everything is all in one place. Moving on to one last thing before we go into the project box, which is our task management portion of Swit, I wanted to talk about a really nifty feature that I use a lot, pretty much all day, every day, as long as I'm at work, or even if I'm doing something from home on Swit, which is the right panel. So as you can see right now in this main panel right here in Swit, we are in the general channel. The cool thing is, though, that you can open up this right panel and you can select to be in a completely different channel as well. So let's say I want to be in the general channel and having a conversation with somebody. Hello, how are you, right? Testing, just so they know. You can do that. And then let's say you want to be also in the social media channel and someone's asking you a question. So you don't have to go and scroll and click on the social media channel. You just open it in your right panel, select the channel you want to be in, and multitask, and just reply maybe back to their message. and do something like that. So that's also really useful. It's the right panel. So you can be at 2 channels at the same time. Moving on to the task management portion, which we call our project box. You can go ahead and click on that right now. So the project box shows you a few different things as well. As you can see, as soon as I went to the project box, I got a project unread notification. So back when using Asana or Jira or even Trello, it could sometimes be difficult to follow the process of what's happening in each project. Sometimes you might miss a notification, sometimes you might not get a notification at all, and sometimes you just glance through the notification. So as soon as I changed into the project box window, it already let me know that, hey, there's 2 unread notifications for this task card right here. And I can go ahead and just jump into it right away. I don't have to look for it. Again, everything is redirectable and just redirects you exactly to there. And you can see that someone just made new comments and that you can comment back. So it's just really simple to work with. And if you already saw your unread project notifications, you can go ahead and close that tab like so. So let's jump in real quick. So as you can see, even in the project box and the channel box, they are similar in certain ways. On the left-hand side, you have your projects, and in the channel box, they're called channels. You can still do the same thing. You can go ahead and star channels. You can go ahead and mute the projects. You can do the same thing with the channels with the projects. So right now we're in the content writing timeline. And this is where me and my team write different blogs, different social media posts, stuff like that. Just any certain content that we have to write out. As you can see, we have 5 different views from status, bucket, team, timeline, and calendar. And we also make it easy for you to find certain task cards because in any certain project, you could have upwards of 300 max task cards for the free version, and for every other version, you can have an unlimited amount. So we actually we have plenty, but we're a small team. I'm guessing other teams could even have no problem 100 task cards in one particular project. So to help them find what they're looking for, you can even search by tags that you put on your task cards, the priority of your task cards. So now it's only going to show normal priority of task cards. Now it's only going to show the highest priority of task cards. So it automatically filters it out for you. You can even search by color label, or you can search by my filters, which is a cool little feature. So it shows you cards that I created personally, cards that were assigned to me by somebody else, and also cards that I am following, so that you're a follower on. So the status view is a great kind of Kanban style view to look at, where you have your backlog, which you can actually condense like that. You have your to-do, doing, and done buckets as well. And the cool thing about those is it kind of helps managers and also your fellow coworkers, and it also helps yourself just track how far you are on a project and how much work you've done on it. So if someone's working on a project in to do, and they want to start working on it, so they would drag and drop it into doing. As you can see, automatically the metadata within the task card itself already updated itself to doing. So you don't even need to go here and change it. And you most certainly don't need to go within the task card itself to change the status of the task card. And then if you want, you can just go ahead and move it back. When task cards are in the done folder, in the done bucket, as you can see, they will gray out like so. They will get gray. And then when you move it back, they light up again, letting you know that this is something you're working on. We can actually go into a task card just so I can share a little bit more detail about the task cards. So this is what your task card looks like. It tells you that it's under the content writing timeline project. It's under an untitled bucket, which you can actually change from here. You can star the task card as well. You can move the card, copy the card. You can share it to a channel, which we'll get more into later, and you can delete the card as well. So the task cards are full of different little features and functions that you can mess around with and that you can change for your personal convenience, and also to show your team what you're working on. You can attach Google Docs. You can have a checklist as well. And every time, you can go, once you're done with something, you can go ahead and check it off the checklist. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Another cool feature that I like is that you can link a task. So if there's a particular task card that's similar to my task card, which is a blog, I can go ahead and click link task. I can go ahead and select a certain task, other task card that I would like to link to it. Let's just pick one just for the sake of picking one using Swit for Sales. You press confirm, and now they're linked together, meaning that once I go into this task card, and I maybe go ahead and check off some things from the checklist or attach a document, write a comment, and then I want to say, well, I don't want to exit out of this task card and go search for something else. Oh, look, here's the other task that I'm looking for using Swit for Sales. You just click on it, and again, you get automatically redirected to the task that you're working on, and even shows you that these two task cards are linked together. And if you want, you can go ahead. If you don't need them linked anymore, you can just click X and they will be unlinked, just like that. You have your comment section over here, and you can even look at the activity. So you can even see, update the activity, like I changed the due date here, and our coworker Noah added a comment at this time. You can just see the activity of the comment section and what was happening within the task card. You have your start and end dates. You have your assigned member, which you can change, obviously. And you have your followers. So whenever something happens in a task card, like someone writes a comment, someone adds a tag, changes a color label, changes the date, priority, or status, any of that kind of stuff, these followers will be notified in their activity in the app bar. And if you go ahead and tag them, you write @ and then you tag someone and you just write a comment, that person will be notified in their mentions and their activity, and it'll say exactly that it came from this task card. All right, moving on just quickly to the bucket view, since I clearly went a little bit overkill on the status view. So now you guys understand everything, what happens within the task card and what task cards are used for and how you can move task cards. Just a quick brief overview of the bucket view is it's just another way to view your task cards. So if you're more of a kind of person that likes to have their task cards organized, you can go ahead and go in bucket view and create various buckets for where you want to keep your task cards. So again, this is a content writing timeline where we write different contents like blogs, for instance. So we make different buckets and title them for where we want to keep our different task cards. So every single task card in the awareness and education bucket will be kept here. So we know where to look for it. Getting started, all the task cards will be here. Influencer articles, all the task cards will be here. So you can see it's a lot easier to find a specific type of task card for a specific topic that you're working on than it is to find it in status view. Because in status view, you'll have to just search all over, even in the backlog, even into do and doing, and it can be a hassle. Whereas bucket view already has your buckets organized for the specific subject that you're writing about. And you can go ahead and use your filters as well in this bucket, just as in any other view that you want to pick. Team view, also a pretty cool view that I like. If you want to, this is kind of used for maybe like managers or maybe higher level executives who kind of have to, let you know how you're performing, so they can go ahead and see how many task cards you are working on compared to somebody else. And then you can just see everybody's work right over here in order, see what they're working on, see their due dates, pretty much just stuff like that. The cool thing is, if I wanted to transfer a task card from myself to, let's say, Noah, you just drag and drop, and automatically the metadata inside will be updated. Even the picture changed to Noah. Another cool thing is that I should definitely mention is when you change a task card, let's say in the team view, I move this over to Noah and it automatically updated, it will be reflected in all the other 5 views. So I think that's pretty useful as well. And I think that's just a standard thing that any sort of tool should go ahead and have for people's convenience. So just moving it just like that. Timeline view, also another great view that I really like and I personally use often is because it gives you a really great visual of what's happening within the workspace and with different task cards for certain projects. So as you can see, we're still in the content writing timeline. There's all the stuff. And so what the timeline view here does, we have 2 views, timeline and workload. So timeline first. What timeline view does is it kind of gives you a bird's eye view of all the different buckets in this project. So you have untitled buckets. And once you click on one of them, it automatically jumps to that one. See how it's jumping around? Just like that. You have your awareness and education bucket. So again, you can click on certain task cards just like this. And the cool thing is that you can go ahead and get a quick preview of the task card just by clicking on the box, and it will pop up a quick preview. If you want to go ahead and edit some information about the task card, you just have to click one more time and you'll be automatically redirected to the task card itself where you can make further edits. And when you exit out, it takes you right back to the timeline view. So that's pretty neat. I really like that view. For those of you wondering, the dark black line going through the orange box over here, that it would be actually the checklist. So as you can see, the checklist is fully checked off, meaning that this black line is completed. If we were supposed to take some of these checks off the checklist, the black line would be a lot shorter. For example, this one right here. As you can see, only one is checked off, the others are not, so the line is very short. You can go ahead and even change the due dates, the start date and the end date by completely dragging the entire box like so. And as you can see, the blue dates above are changing as well with it. Or you can simply just drag and drop it like so. And if you made a mistake, you can go ahead and click undo, and it'll undo the changes. So that's the timeline for you. The workload, which is part of the timeline, gives you, what it does, it shows you different members and what they're working on. So it doesn't show you by bucket, it shows you by member. So we can expand a few of these just to show you what's happening. So you can see this is my timeline and this is Noah's timeline over here. So it's a good way to kind of compare what you and your coworkers are working on. If you have any overlapping tasks, which actually this tells you when tasks are overlapping right over here, and how many dates they're overlapping by up here. You can still do the same thing, just clicking on the little box to get a quick preview of the task card. Go ahead and moving it just like so, or expanding it like so. So you can do all the same stuff that you could in the timeline view, but now we're just in workload. And you can also go ahead and use filters here. So if I want to do just cards assigned to me, it would show all my cards that I assign. Cards I created. Priority levels as well, high. So it automatically filters all that stuff out. And there you go. Lastly, we'll talk about the calendar view. With the 5 different views, calendar comes last. And as you can see over here, it's a little bit as the timeline view. You can still go ahead, even within the calendar view, you can move different timelines like this, extend them, and that will be reflected, as you can see. You can go ahead and click on them as well, and you can get a quick preview. And you can go ahead and extend them, like I said. You can also go ahead and use the filters as well to see what's changed. You can also take a look at your unscheduled tasks below, and you can actually take those. You can see that these 2 right here, just by clicking on it, you can see that these 2 are unscheduled. And if you want, you can just go ahead and assign them the date, and then you can also go ahead and extend the date as well. But right now we'll keep this one unassigned. Another cool little thing that I wanted to show you guys was link channel. And link channel is very useful to us. So what that does is you're able to link a certain project, like the content writing timeline project. You can link it with a social media channel. And what it does, it gives you these text-based, clickable text-based notifications over here within the channel that you can actually click on, and you can be redirected exactly to that task card. So the thought process behind this was that, let's say you have Slack and you also have Asana, and you integrate the two of them. So what will happen is that when you will get a text-based notification in Slack that something changed in Asana, but you still have to open that tab and you still have to app hop from Slack to Asana back to Slack, or any other integration that you have, any other chat and task management integration that you have, I mean. But what's cool about here is that you could be in your channels and you can be in this, where is it? The social media channel, like so. And you can see that something changed. It says EJ has created switching off tasks in social media project. You don't have to go anywhere. You just simply click on it and automatically get redirected into that task card for that project. So again, we're trying to minimize the number of clicks that you have to do, and also and you don't have to app hop anymore. So one last thing that I did want to touch on before we go ahead and end this webinar is the right panel. So the right panel, like I said, you can use it in the channel box for being in two different channels at the same time, or you can go ahead and use the right panel as well while you're in the project box, like so. You can go ahead and select a certain channel that you want to be in. So let's say the launch channel. And what you can do for this is, if you want to share a particular project, a particular task card from a project into a certain channel, all you have to do is drag and drop it. As you can see, new message that I shared, this task card right over here. And then you can even include a message just to let them know, or you can say something like, hey, take a look at this, please. Just like that. So you never lose context with what you're talking about. So people actually know. So if someone in a channel requested a project from you, requested to give you feedback or just help you with the guidelines or anything like that, you would know that you can pick a certain channel that you want to be in, and you can go ahead and simply just drag and drop whatever task cards you want within that channel. And this will all reflect in real time back into the channel box. As you can see, all the little changes that I made while I was showing you the timeline view and status view and moving things around, they're all reflected here with these nice clickable text-based notifications that can automatically redirect you back into the project box for a certain task card. Well, guys, that was pretty much it for this webinar. I think I pretty much covered everything that I needed to cover, and everything that, for you to know and understand how to, walk through the workspace, how to utilize the workspace, and how to better collaborate with your team. And I hope that it was useful for most of you. For those of you who were just possibly, getting into making a workspace, I hope that was useful. And for those of you who already have a workspace and use Swit, you just learned maybe something new about how you can further use it to better your team's collaboration. So pretty much that is it for now. I will go ahead and stop my screen share. And, hopefully next time, same time, 11 a.m. on Thursdays, every other 2 weeks, I will be go ahead and doing this. So hopefully more of you join and more of you share this with your friends and colleagues who are in search or are trying to switch from a different tool to possibly join Swit. So yeah, that is it for today. And I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.